This is the Hidden Killers Podcast with Tony Bruschi and continuing coverage of the case against Bryan Kohberger.
And for a guy obsessed with murder, Bryan Kohberger was surprisingly bad at getting away with one. And yet, he left almost no trace. That's a contradiction that continues to haunt this case. A scene soaked in blood, multiple victims, DNA everywhere, and yet nothing traceable to Kohberger. No blood on his clothes, none in his car, nothing in his apartment, just a knife sheath with his DNA on the snap. And even that felt like an afterthought. So how do you create that much carnage and leave almost nothing behind? That's where the story starts to shift from sloppy killer to obsessive cleaner. In this segment, we're going to dig into the forensic blind spots, the missing murder weapon, the almost surgically erased trail, and disturbing possibility that Kohberger dismantled his car to eliminate blood spatter. But it doesn't stop at the cleanup. The behavioral weirdness bleeds into digital space, too, because then there's Papa Roger. Remember the online persona that popped up on Facebook groups shortly after the murders, posting eerily accurate theories, including details about the knife before police ever released them? Authorities now officially claim it wasn't Kohberger. But the photo looks like him. The username nods to Elliot Roger. The timing, the tone, the predictions. It all lines up a little too well, don't you think? So if it wasn't him, who the hell was it? And if it was him, what does it say about the man so obsessed with crafting his killer persona that he couldn't help but insert himself into the commentary about it? Today we're back with Robin Dreeke, retired FBI special agent and former chief of the Counterintelligence Behavioral Analysis Program, to walk through how Kohberger may have been more focused on becoming a killer and getting away with murder and mimicking serial killers' collections to fantasy behavior behind bars. We'll explore the psychology of someone who failed at reality, but still desperately wants to be remembered. The KBAR knife, obviously, the sheath left behind. We still don't know where the murder weapon is. We don't know exactly how the hell he got in and out of there with as horrible and gruesome as this scene was, without leaving a trail behind him. I mean, I think that's still a bit of a mystery. I don't know how you physically do that. How do you get out of there without leaving a trail of some sort? That to me still kind of defies a lot of logic on this.
I think the greatest thing he did for his planning was that. Mm-hmm. I think his OCD behaviors were actually helped him in that sense. Mm-hmm. From what I understand, again, some of the leakage we heard about the car was that it looked like the car had been totally disassembled, mm-hmm. To get all the blood splatter that could have even been out of there. But yeah, so the one area he did a good job in, and it's only one, was that, mm-hmm. to have no DNA whatsoever after he created a disaster zone of blood splatter and DNA all over the place, to have none that could be tied to him. I think that's going to go down as one of the most profound things too, just because, especially with our technology today. I mean, think about it. We were able to get a minor, I think it was a thumbprint, like half of a thumbprint, not a thumbprint itself, but the DNA off a snap, mm-hmm. of a knife sheath that was under a bloody body, to be able to tie it to the dad to go back to him. Yet they could find not a molecule, yeah. of any of the victims anywhere on him, his car, his apartment, or anything. That's remarkable.
And they didn't find it. I do wonder if it was there, because there's a couple things I look at in this case and go,
you mean the knife?
Not the knife, just in general. Like, was there more evidence that was missed in the investigation itself? I mean, the house got torn down. I do wonder, because there are elements to this that they've come out and said, well, this is that. One of those specifically being the Papa Roger online persona. Yeah, and they said, no, that was not him. We have concluded that was
They said it wasn't him, really?
They said it wasn't him. I don't believe that.
I don't believe it either.
I don't. Then you didn't look hard enough, I think, is the answer to that question. You didn't look hard enough, because there's no way in hell someone had a online picture that looks just like Bryan Kohberger releasing information that no one else has knowledge of publicly before. No, it was him. How else would this have happened? How else would you, if it was a different picture, sure, maybe so you could have some nutcase out there just spewing stuff and it just happened to be right. You don't have some nutcase spewing it and having the picture of Kohberger.
And so here's, even when you're looking at these online forums, and there's a lot of noise because there's a lot of people on them that were doing it. The thing in that case too, with the Papa Roger thing is, so people are generally commenting on the same thing. So you're going to get a wave of statements, of theories, and all these things that are waving like this. And then you have only one person that spikes up like this with the things they're saying, like, you got to pay attention to that one because that one's different. What is making that one person different in the things they're saying? Because there's a spike, because you have a normal behavior of all these other people, but you have one spike. Now, if there's like 3 to 5 to 10 other people saying the same thing, maybe. But one, that's, again, laws of probability. I'm always going on probabilities. So the probability of that actually having been him is higher than it not being him.
I mean, look at this. And
I know, I remember when that photo came out.
And the damn name, Roger. It's a nod to Elliot Roger.
I know.
Of course it's him. And that's when I saw that it's not him. Look harder.
Yeah.
So what else did we not look hard enough at, too, is my question. If that you believe is not him. And why do you believe it's not him? What was the thing that brought you to that conclusion? Was it an IP address? Was it, can you definitively tell me who it was then? Or can they definitively say off the record, we know it was this person? I mean, I don't buy that one. I know Coffin Daffer posted about it because she was big on it. She was probably the biggest person on it forever. And I'm actually talking to her this afternoon. I'm curious to get her thoughts. But she had tweeted about it saying, okay, it wasn't him. I was wrong. I don't think she was wrong. I just... Again,
let's just look at data.
Yeah.
Let's look at the data points. It was Papa... what the hell's the name again?
Roger.
Papa Roger from what I understand, he was the only one that came out with these theories about the knife and all these things
and started
out of everyone.
And started steering people away when they were talking about the Elantra, things that were like solid of like how to find him. No, that's a red herring. He steered people.
But it's one person. See, that's when you got a spike. It's one person. I have a hard time steering away from one person. So here's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm in law enforcement and I got a spike like that. That's where we focus all resources and guns on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And you flush that out until you are 100% convinced that that's not the person. And you can then explain it, with whether it's in the moment where, at the time or in the documents that we should be getting now. So with the gag order lifted, one thing they should be able to do, if it was indeed not him, is show you exactly what they did to say it wasn't him.
Yeah. I mean, you have to name the name of who it is, obviously, but why? It's not just, it wasn't him. Why? How was that not him? Because right. I have very little faith in other cases that you're not going to be able to recognize people like this if you're thinking that this is not him.
And so if it's not him, how come the person that actually is, with all the notoriety they could have for being so spot on, how come they haven't come forward?
Exactly. Well, and this too. I mean, the man was obsessed with being other people because he was such a shitty human being himself. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, American Psycho, we called that right away with the picture of him, this one with the shower. It's in the shower. I mean, it was a breadcrumb.
It's also a self-made trophy.
It is. And it was him trying to be elusive. I mean, he didn't know the picture was ever going to get out. That was for him to look at and go, ha, ha, ha. But if anyone ever did find it, yes, it's a nod to Psycho. It's a nod to American Psycho with the getup. It's a nod to Norman Bates. It's a nod to the thumbs up Bundy. I mean, it's all this. And yes, and there's Papa fucking Roger. So it's him. I mean, this was his propensity to do this, and he probably still will do this from behind bars. There's going to be more of him trying to emulate other people. I think he's going to go down BTK's road a bit, and really try to communicate and have some sort of dialogue with people.
I think so. Part of what I think one of the reasons he took that plea deal is because he saw he could be another BTK from behind bars.
Exactly.
The problem is BTK is a lot smarter, he's a lot smoother, and he's a lot more congenial. Yeah. I mean, literally, as horrendous as BTK is, he's a more likable guy than Kohberger.
Yeah.
And so Kohberger's, so what I envision Kohberger trying to do is BTK-like things, and he's going to fumble the ball.
And that's the thing with this too. And that's a good point. This kid has always fumbled the ball on everything he has. So what is there to study about Bryan Kohberger at the end of the day? Honest to God. I mean, I get
like Olivia said, he's nothing but a wannabe.
He is. Because, look, BTK is worth studying. There's a long history of his shit that he terrorized Wichita for like decades. Ted Bundy's worth studying. All these people who had a lot of reps, who got away with it over and over and over again and manipulated people over and over again, they are worth studying. Kohberger didn't manipulate anybody. Kohberger was an idiot.
Oh my God, it just struck me because all these other people, like BTK, Ted Bundy, and all that, they were original.
Yes. He's not.
Kohberger's a mimic.
Like, other than studying him as a mimic, there's nothing to study here. He wasn't good at what he did.
Right.
He wasn't.
He sucked at being everyone else.
Yes, he sucked at being himself, and he sucked at being everyone else. Yeah. He just everything. And it's because of the way his mind works. I just don't know what there is to study here. And I'm glad there are people like Catherine Ramsland out there who I'm sure will hopefully, get to do a little insight on this.
And I hope they take the judge's lead on it, who says, "Hey, study him, but don't release it. Use it in academic circles and things like that, but give him no notoriety."
It's going to be out there. It'll be a book. We know that's going to happen. But I just don't know that there's any depth here. It was a very perplexing case to watch. It was outrageous of what he did, but he ain't no Ted Bundy. He's not BTK. He's a student. He got away with it for a short period of time, like less than a month, and then he left a ton of evidence.
Failed wannabe.
Yeah, I mean, because it wasn't just the knife sheath and the DNA as being the linchpin. We're learning now there's a lot of other stuff that they were going to bring out.
The car had him nailed really good.
Yeah.
The cell phone data had him nailed really good. I mean, because again, he operated in such a stovepipe for someone that we're theorizing was planning on murdering people for such a long time. And we've said this before, people shouldn't, what they're failing at is they're planning the murder and how to cover their tracks of the murder. They're not learning how to cover their tracks of the planning of the murder.
No, he's not this elusive enigma that I think.
He's not smart.
No, he's not. He's blinders completely. And that's what his biggest downfall is.
He had dumb luck about cleaning up his mess of blood.
Mm-hmm. He was good at that. His OCD served him well there. And that's the only thing he did good. Yeah,
he screwed up throwing his trash away. He screwed up.
His alibi. No alibi.
It was funny. Even the Facebook page, reading James Patterson's book about them kind of poking at who leaves a knife sheath behind. Who doesn't have it at least on their belt? I mean, would you carry a knife in the knife sheath? I mean, what the hell is it not doing on your belt? What?
Like, why is the sheath off of you?
Why is it off there?
Yeah.
And then Papa George's or Giorgio.
Papa Giorgio. His Vegas vacation.
I know.
Papa Giorgio.
Papa Giorgio's response was that, "Well, you're gonna walk in there with the knife unsheathed." He was so stupid he wasn't even getting the point.
No.
Moron.
Jail records. This has been interesting to learn about what's been going on behind bars. Reporting he's obsessively washing his hands dozens of times a day, taking extended 45-minute showers. I didn't know you could take extended 45-minute showers in prison.
And you might want to do that after a while.
It might not be a good thing. I think it'd be like get in, get out. But he's doing that. There's also reports that he has a very bizarre sleeping schedule, more reminiscent of Dracula than a human being. Sleeping during the day, staying up at night, all night, and it's disturbing to the other inmates because it's like, what the hell is this guy doing? Obviously, and also asking to speak to a priest immediately after being arrested. With some of these new things that we're learning about his behavior behind bars, What do you make of it as a behavioral expert?
I still think it's just a case of real broken brain.
Yeah.
And broken brain comes, it's not just in him killing 4 kids. It was broken in a lot of different ways. And I think sleep schedules, his whole just think about this. The thing that causes people to do things is massive chemical imbalances, and chemical imbalances in the brain are going to manifest in a lot of other areas, whether it's sleep, melatonin production, and then seeing a priest. Remember, so the first thing that I thought of when you said see a priest is he's still seeking and needs stimulation of some sort, because that's the whole reason, I think, part of the reason why he wanted to kill someone is kind of get the stimulation that he wasn't getting. He gets no emotional stimulation. He told his father about that early growing up. And so I think he's doing his best to try to keep doing something to trigger some sort of emotional response someplace in his brain. And maybe seeing a priest was going to be his way of doing it. It definitely ain't for repentance, because he doesn't give a rat's ass about that.
No, I'm like, how does religiousness play any role in his, unless it's a twisted brain? He very well could. He could.
Yeah, but also, Rex Heuermann saw a priest too.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's self-serving. It's someone being able to tell you what you did is okay, and you'll get forgiven for that.
So think about this. So what do priests do when they see you? They listen and validate you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what's his mother doing?
Yep.
There you go. So when he can't talk to his mommy, he's going to talk to a priest.
Not
because he's religious, but maybe someone will sit there and listen to him rant about how he is.
I'd like to pay a priest to go tell him he's going to burn in hell. like have the priest go and just like Olivia Goncalves did. Like, I want it to be like that, where he thinks he's going to get a nice little like church time, and it's like the church lady like on crack. Bring Martin Short in there as the church lady. Like, you're going to hell.
Yeah. It's sad we're laughing about it, but I think he just that. It's because of the Goncalveses. They really did a good job of helping us all deal with this. They really did, because they helped all of us go on offense with him in a much more profound way than I ever thought anyone could ever do that.
I've never,
because look what we're doing. We're laughing at him.
We are. I mean, and there you had. Yeah, I mean, it's so pathetic once you look, and once they're learning more and more about all this too. It's like, holy shit.
So think about how awesome this is, and how those Goncalves family did this. Had we only listened to the heart-wrenching, amazing, profound stories of the impact of the survivors, of the other roommates, and all the family members, we'd be sitting here most likely talking about them, the people that were lost, the impact, and what a horrible human being he is. Meanwhile, we're riffing off of what the Goncalveses gave us about what a pathetic human being he is. Yeah. And so it's enabled people like you and me and the rest of the world to poke fun at the piece of crap of a human being that he is. And he's going to get nothing but that for the rest of his life. Good.
Yeah. I hope you found us on your iPad, Bryan.
Yes. Wouldn't that be great? You suck.
Your time's coming. There's a lot of people that want to, fill their
big
canteen.
D's coming for you.
What we're left with here isn't some criminal genius. It's not a Hannibal Lecter. It's not even a Ted Bundy. What we're left with is a mimic, a guy who studied horror like it was homework, pieced together a Frankenstein identity out of Reddit threads and serial killer documentaries, and still couldn't pull off anything cleanly. Bryan Kohberger wanted to be a villain. But like everything else in his life, he fumbled the execution. He thought he was pulling off BTK. But unlike Dennis Rader, who eluded capture for decades, Kohberger lasted less than 6 weeks before law enforcement cracked him. And not just because of one slip-up, but because of an entire pattern of bad decisions, digital footprints, car movement, cell phone data, ego leaks, fantasy writing, and possibly even the creation of the Papa Roger persona to steer online speculation in real time. And let's be honest, if he was Papa Roger, it's even more pathetic. Because what kind of killer creates a fan account for his own crime? The kind who doesn't care about the victims. The kind who only cares about getting attention, the kind who thinks notoriety is the same thing as legacy. Robin nailed the behavioral profile here. Kohberger isn't a master manipulator. He's not interesting enough for that. He's a mimic. He tries on different personas because he hates who he actually is. He's a guy who thought a KBAR knife and a PhD made him dangerous. Instead, It made him traceable, replaceable, and forgettable once the fascination wears off. And now, he's rotting in a cell, scrubbing his hands until they bleed, taking 45-minute showers like that'll wash away what he did. But the most fitting part, I don't know if anybody really wants to study him, because there's really nothing there. No great darkness, no profound motive, just another rage-filled man trying to cosplay as a serial killer and losing at that too. And when the history books are written, Kohberger won't be remembered alongside Bundy or BTK. He'll be a footnote. A guy who left a sheath, spilled his data all over the place, and got caught trying to become someone else's monster. A wannabe who never figured out that the scariest thing about him was how completely unremarkable he actually was. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section on YouTube. If you're not already there, press subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos that we put out. If you're on the podcast platforms, press subscribe there too. But also please search Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi on YouTube and join us over there so you can let your voice be heard on all the cases that we cover for you right here. Until next time, I'm Tony Bruschi. We'll talk again real soon.
Want more on this case and others? Then press subscribe now and don't miss a moment of true crime coverage from Tony Bruschi and the Hidden Killers podcast.